Trending stars.
This is Trending Star and I am Alina Fechunga, and today we have the Nyao King. I think he doesn't need any introductions because kungomona muzazora amene ndi Tay Grin. Koma se ndimona ngati tubwera ndi Nyao kuti iyi mapambalipa.
Mizimu ilipo.
Mizimu ilipo.
Mizimu ilipo.
Okay. Koma, how has life been generally?
No, good.
Oh,
Good.
good.
You know, despite the tragedy, I believe that life is meant to be lived positively.
Yeah.
And any hurdle or obstacle you face is just there to train you to grow and become a better person. So I'm all right.
Okay.
I'm all right. And I've had, enormous support from people over the past few weeks. So all in all, everything is good.
All right.
Yeah.
And now talking about the tragedy, how
Yeah.
was From the Ashes? What was the recipient?
Wow. From the Ashes was a movie.
Yeah.
You know, we had the vice president come. He participated in the roast. He even asked me, he says, so I hear Udisuna party. I was like, did we have to go there? But it was the spirit of the event. You know, it was one of those that everybody came out to have a great time. The energy was amazing. Everybody that performed, Kelke, Gwamba, Temwa, Agide got the whole place standing and dancing. It was just an amazing night, to see people coming to celebrate, but also to come and support. And even the people that came in such large numbers, and everybody had so much energy. I really enjoyed the event, and everybody that came there absolutely had a great time.
Yeah. All right. So now talking about the artists that came to support you,
Yeah.
how did they come about together? Was it voluntary or you approached them?
No, I got a call from Malawi, who initiated the whole, concept.
Yeah.
And he said, "Look, my brother, I'm aware of what you're going through. He's someone that I relate to quite a lot. We do similar things musically. We're always trying to tap into our culture. We're always trying to make music that is uniquely Malawian and create a sound that we can sort of export to the rest of the world. So we have a lot of engagements when it comes to music and obviously advising each other on certain things. And he reached out and said, look, I understand what you've lost and I understand what you're going through. And I think for us just to show support, we can't get you everything.
Yeah.
But for us to show support, we want to put together this event. And obviously he spoke to the other guys and, they said, listen, we're coming to assist you and have a great night. And they did come out. They came out in full support. But also they gave their best performance. So for me, it's really humbling to have such colleagues and friends in the industry who came to look out for me in time of need.
Oh yeah, shout out to them as well.
Big shout out to them, big shout out to them.
All right, and now the show passed. Now let's talk about your branding as Tay Grin.
Okay.
I mean, if I look at most of the artists in Malawi, you have the uniquest.
Right.
If that's a word anyway.
Okay.
Yeah?
Uniquest.
Uniquest, if that's a word, yeah.
We're going to make it
work. You have that unique style to
Right.
it. I mean, when we see something, we're like, that's Tay Grin right there. How do you brand yourself? Like, how did you come about, like, okay, I want to be known as the Nyao King, and this is how I want to present myself to Malawians?
My style and branding comes from who I am. First and foremost, I'm a Chewa. And to be known as the Nyao King is simply because I fuse a lot of that culture, the music, the dancing. If you come to a show, that's what you get to see. You get to experience the culture. And I believe that if culture is preserved the way it is, it's lost. But when you modify culture, you preserve it. And as an artist, my role is to preserve our culture, is to promote our culture, is to let the world know who we are. And my advice to a lot of artists as well has always been, tap into where you come from, tap into who you are, because the art that you make, if it resonates with where you come from, it'll automatically link to a variety of people. Because when I do my music, or when the drums come on, and even if you go to the village now, once the drums start playing, everybody stops what they're doing and they
run to the drums,
drums, right? And that's the same thing with the music. So when people hear that, they go, okay, Tay Grin, what do we have now? So it's very important as an artist to always be innovative, to be very creative, but most importantly, tap into your originality. Who are you? And showcase that to the world. So I think that's where really my brand tends to stand out, because every time I do work or I make something, I take my time with it, but I'm always making sure that it applies to who I am.
All right.
Yeah.
I think you said a very important point because we were discussing the other day. We're like, you know what? This Afrobeats, dance, or everything that we're doing can just, fuse in
course.
kajan, kamankanje,
Yes.
Ben and
Imagine
stuff like
what
that.
that would sound like.
Yeah, it would really sound amazing.
And
food for thought.
Food for thought.
Yeah.
And also because once that happens, is the people who originated the sound
Yes.
will now also get interested. They're like, wait a
Like,
minute.
what's that?
What's going on? For instance, when Amapiano came in, you saw what the Nigerians did?
Yep.
Yeah? They did Afro piano.
Exactly.
They just twisted it and made it their own. So this is what I mean. You can take from others, apply it to your own, but make sure that it still has the foundation of where you come from.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, they're going to ask you a simple question as an artist. Where do you come from?
Where do you come from? All right.
Yeah.
Now, still on your brand.
Sure.
Whenever we hear about your brand, it's associated with some richness to it. And you haven't lost touch.
No.
You keep raising the bar. How do you maintain the bar?
This year I'm celebrating 20 years.
Yeah.
And that is a long time to be in the music industry. People have come and you hear about them for 6 months and then
They're
off they
gone.
go. And you never hear from them again. It's a business.
Yeah.
And this business, I've always described it in this way. It's 90% business, 10% talent. Okay? You might be so talented, but if you don't have the business right, no one around the world will get to know of your talent.
Yeah.
So how I've maintained this is to have a very strong team in place. I've always invested back in the music. When we make the money, it comes right back into investing into the music so we can create more content, beautiful content. I'm always challenging myself. So whatever my last bar was, whatever the greatest thing I did last week, this week has to be higher.
Higher, yeah.
So it's one of those situations where I've put myself for the last 20 years to challenge myself to keep growing, to keep producing quality work, but to also keep innovating. And I think this is what has really, it keeps me on my toes. Every time I wake up in the morning, I'm thinking, okay, how are we going to, advance from where we are? And it's very important. So I have a very strong team. Obviously, I pray and God guides me with the wisdom that I have. But surrounding yourself and family too.
Yeah, true.
Because your environment is very important. People who surround you, people who advise you, people who help you on your path are very important. And I've always attached myself to people who are higher in wisdom, higher in status, so that I can learn. Tap from that wisdom, tap from that knowledge, apply it to myself. So if you can be a person who wants to learn every day, who's working hard, who has the right vision, and you're well-centered, this is what happens. You stay in the limelight for a very long time.
Yeah. You just mentioned Guri Uwani Sazaga 20 in music.
In music.
And I must say, Guri, you've been relevant for all the 20 years
20
that we have known you. What's your secret?
Hard work, but I also have, fans that are very loyal. My fan base is unshaken. There are people who have supported me. Some I meet today, and they say, I started listening to you when I was in Form 1, when I was finishing, when I was graduating, and now they're working in offices and they're doing so many things, and they're still attached to the brand. That level of brand loyalty and from the fans is really, what has kept me, again, in that spot for a long time. People can change and say, but that hasn't been the case. They've always been supportive. You can see also from the Ashes, the amount of people that came out to support and had a great time. And even this weekend, when we were going to my center ground, the amount of people that are so excited just to be there. So that kind of support and loyalty from my fans has really just kept me going for all these years.
All right. Yeah. And what can you tell someone that's struggling with their branding?
Well, first of all, it's sit back, hold on, analyze. And what I mean by analyze is really, what are you doing? What do you want to convey? And one thing about music is we can tell so many different stories. If you look at my body of work, I have music that speaks on so many different topics. So it's not necessarily the topic that gets you out there. Yeah. It's how you present the topic. Okay? So if you're struggling, first of all, identify who are you? What is it that you represent? What do you stand for? that then starts to, give you a picture of what needs to be done. Once you have that in place, then it's easier for you to look for partners to enhance that, but also for you to apply services that can enhance their. So if you have sponsors that are coming on and they're looking at you as a brand, right? You need to be able to speak to their needs. If we engage this person, are they going to provide us what we need? So the understanding of the business, again, is very important. That's why I said 90%
business, 10% talent.
So once you have your body of work in place, that's your identity, who you are and how you want to present it, wonderful. But now you need to sit down, strategize, plan. Before we release music, we have a marketing plan for the music. We have a budget for the marketing. We have a rollout plan for local content, but also international content.
Yeah.
If you go to other countries, you might find Tay Grin with music that you've never heard in Malawi before. Why? Because I'm making music for that market.
All right.
So you also have to understand the market that you're making music for, when to release, how to release, and how to position yourself within the industry.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting much.
Trending stars.
So you've talked about how we would go to other countries, but it's your song. How do you think artists from Malawi can also sell our culture apart from music?
Right.
When agabila kuma gig there, mwina ina maidana to South Africa for shows, they go to Zambia, they go to Mozambique, Tanzania. How should they sell our culture apart from music itself?
Well, that's a very important question, and I think that's something that a lot of artists need to understand. Now it goes back to branding.
Yeah.
If you see, when I travel, every time, doesn't matter if I'm in America, if I go to the UK, if I'm in Algeria, if I'm performing, I go as the Nyao King.
Yeah.
Gule wanga pambali.
I was about to ask you, atusaba oba mundege kuti mwari bweresera jani.
It's what color. But that's me being proud of who I am. And it creates a conversation. Because when people see you, now they want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
What is this? What are you doing? What's happening?
Yeah.
That shock creates interest. And therefore that interest now is the platform for you to sell your country, for you to sell your culture, for you to tell people where you come from. And even if you have an event, for you to tell people, oh, by the way, I have an event, so please do come and experience this culture. I've traveled to so many parts of the world. I'll give you an example. In LA, if you go to Los Angeles, that whole city is filled with different nationalities.
Yeah.
You have a section that's just for the Chinese, you have a section that's just for the Indians, you have a section. And if you go into those sections, you literally feel as if you have flown to China.
Yeah.
Or you're in Mexico. Or you're, you know what I mean? Why? Because that's how they live their culture, their food, their way of living, their way of dressing, their way of... So you go into that space and now you're like, okay, yes, I'm in LA, but I'm in China for now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's beautiful to observe because then you get to experience that culture. This is what we need to learn and master. So if you travel, we're all ambassadors of our country. What are you taking to that country that's representing Malawi? What are you taking forward or on whatever platform you're on that's going to speak highly of the country you come from? You must also have the knowledge of the country you come from. And as ambassadors of our country, we need to know our country. One of the things that always amazes me is a lot of people, if you ask them questions about sites within the country, they'll say, no,
I mean, and as well, they'll be surprised. Couldn't we have that beautiful place? Yeah.
I have a video that's coming out very soon. It's called Zodiak. And when you see this video, everyone that's seen it already, the first question is, and I said, no, this is Malawi. That's how beautiful our country is.
Yeah.
So if we understand who we are, we take pride in our culture, where we come from, and we understand our country, every time we leave, it is easy for us to now start talking. Because it's like, you start to say, oh, no. Have you seen a Nigerian every time you meet a Nigerian?
Yeah, you're like, that's a Nigerian for sure.
Right? And even the way they will speak to you with such enthusiasm, you end up wanting to sound like them by the time they leave.
True.
That infectious characteristic is what we need to develop as Malawians. So when we travel, as artists, as businessmen, or just on holiday, take your country with, take your music, take your culture, introduce it to the rest of the world.
All right. Now, talking about culture and tourism,
Yes.
you were chosen the ambassador for tourism in Malawi.
Mm.
Can you just tell us what responsibilities that comes with?
Well, look, I think I said this when I was being appointed.
Yeah.
I said I've always been an ambassador
Yeah.
for Malawi through my music. Now having the title, obviously, it just cements what I've been doing for the past 20 years. But again, it's the same thing. Put the country in the music through whether it's the sounds,
Yes.
the picture itself, showcasing our country. But also recently, I was invited to the Trace Awards. On that platform, I was looking at how do we get those awards to Malawi, because even if you get Trace Awards to happen in Malawi, what's going to happen is every superstar around the world is going to fly to Malawi.
True.
And they're going to let their fans know where they are. And by doing so, you're promoting the country. By hosting such big events,
Yeah.
you're promoting a destination. Malawi is the place to be. If they can host such an award ceremony, I want to visit this place. So there's so many strategies that we're applying. But also I had meetings with the Commissioner of Tourism of Zanzibar, looked at different packages we can do. How do we promote our country, our two countries as one? Because it's a 1 hour flight to Tanzania, and you can either fly or you can take the ferry to Zanzibar. Why don't we promote it as a block? Why don't we get people who are flying to Zanzibar, once they're done there, to come out to Malawi? There are things that Zanzibar doesn't have that Malawi has.
Yeah.
There are things that Malawi has that Zanzibar
They have, yeah.
that they don't have. So if you combine that, you promote that, you start to get traffic into these two countries. So that's the kind of thinking, that's the kind of work we're currently doing. But also promoting our operators. What services do we have? Where can you go as a Malawian if you want to, if you want to go for a peaceful retreat somewhere in the mountains, it's quiet and nice. There are places like that. If you want to go to the lake and just have a good time, be on the water, swim, water sports, there are places for that. You want to go out, game drives,
Yeah.
places. This is a country that has everything. Some countries only promote one aspect. Come for the safari. We have everything. So if we understand that and know that, then it becomes easier for us to showcase what we have to the rest of the world.
Yeah, I think there's a reason why they call us the warm heart of Africa.
100%.
Yeah, we have
100%.
everything.
We have everything. We have everything. So we are the warm heart of Africa. We are beautiful people. But now let's let the world see it.
Yeah.
The world must know us for beautiful things. There are a lot of things that we can showcase. So it starts with us. Since you are Tay Grin, and ambassador. No. It's for we are all ambassadors.
Yes.
It is our duty to shine a light on our beautiful country.
Okay. Now let's get back into the music.
All right.
You did a collaboration with Your Maps,
Yes,
Somoni.
yes.
Can you just tell us how it came about and the reception? Cause nde inavanga, aneza anga ndazungu.
Ndewe na mandifu sande nyumba we akazungu aja nali mwana wanjimene. But that collaboration came from, again, the expansion of our industry.
Yes.
Malawi alone cannot get the numbers it requires. If you combine Malawi and Zambia, you get a different scenario. If you look at my song with Your Maps, if you look at KLK, Your Maps,
Your
and
Maps,
so,
yeah.
you see the numbers.
Yes.
That's combining two industries. So it's proven to work. If we keep on that path, it means we start to create a block, a market for our music in our region, right? We're not now trying to say, oh, let's go to Nigeria, oh, let's go. You have the numbers in your region.
Yes.
What that means is now, number-wise, you can play the same game as the other artists. So it's very important to do collaborations. So when I met Your Maps at the Lusaka July, we had a very cordial conversation, very creative young man. And I think that our energy is just aligned, and from there we said, listen, he invited me over to his house to come over, let's be in the studio, let's see what we could do. And when we went, I spent the whole day there. We had lunch, we had dinner, and we made this beautiful piece of work. And what I loved about it is, even though we had made it in, I think it took some time before it came out.
Yes.
But the reason was simply because he even said to me, we need to make sure that by the time we're releasing this, the marketing is in place, the video it must be of the highest quality, and we've got to have everything right. And this is the result. So the business was taken care of.
Yes.
The energy was there. We created something very unique and memorable. And I think that it aligned our industry. So that collaboration was very powerful. I was happy to be part of that process. And moving forward, there's a lot of beautiful music coming your way.
Okay. We're waiting for that.
100%.
Trending stars.
Now, Tay, a lot of people, yeah, they'll be like, Tay Grin is Samaya Kamabi. Yeah, Wanji. Is it because he doesn't want to? Bangira Dala Kapena, you want to actually make the person that's beefing, beef more. Like, what's the strategy?
Well, the only beef I know is the one I eat. Do you know, energy is very important.
Yes.
The energy you put out is the same energy you get back. I've always been about positivity. And I think my mission in music has always been to get young people to identify with their talent and use it positively to develop their communities, their country, and where they come from. A person who has that mindset is there to build, not to fight, right? So if you approach me and you want to say bad things about me, or you have some witty things you want, and some people use that for clout.
Yes.
They want the response. They want me to take my time to address and sit with them and have this hippie yappy ya. I don't have that time.
He doesn't have that time.
I don't. I'd rather sit and align myself with people who want to develop, people who want to grow,
Yes.
people who want to bring about change. I would love to leave a legacy behind. Tay Grin, in his time on this earth, did this. As you say, 20 years of constant relevance, right?
Yeah.
What did I do in those 20 years? What development have I brought about? What change have I brought about? I don't want to be remembered for, no, he was fighting with Ujen, Damaganganandu. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But also Malawi is a very small nation, and we're developing. I would think that people who have the right mind should be coming together to create platforms of elevation. How do we bring our platforms or our intellect, our creativity together so that we excel? So that is my take on beef. Sometimes I don't even hear it. Doesn't get to me. I would hear it in passing. Oh, but
you're tagged though.
I'm a time. Hey, I'm a cloud. It's really but at the end of the day, it's also fun to watch because some of the things that are said towards me are things that are not true. So if someone is saying to you that's not true, it's not true. It doesn't matter how many times they say it. It's not true.
They just want their attention.
They just want their attention. So do I then get up and put the energy back and say, yeah, this is all this message? Or do I just continue on my path and be great?
Okay. Continue your path and be great, people. All right, now tell us about, your Grammy aspirations.
Sure.
You've submitted before. What's next?
Again, we submit till we get it.
All right. I love the energy.
I am going to get a Grammy Award.
Okay.
Yeah? I am going to get a Grammy Award. I'm putting it out in the universe, and that's what's going to happen.
Okay.
Because for me, receiving that, one, is not only for myself,
Yes.
but it also puts Malawi music on that scale, on that global
market. Yeah.
You understand? And a Grammy is the highest honor you can receive in music, because the evaluation there is not based off of only popularity, but it's based on the actual work that you've submitted. There's a whole team that looks at these things. They analyze everything from the creativity, from there have been instances where some Grammys have not been given to specific artists. And when I visited, I asked, those were some of the questions. I said, well, this was a beautiful body of work. How come it never got a Grammy?
Yeah.
And they said, well, the artist who sang is from a different country. The music that he's singing on is from a different country. We're going back again to that your initial questions of originality and branding. This is where it clicked to me to say, oh, so they're not eager to award you on content that's not original. Now you have to understand that word, original.
Original, yeah.
Original means they are analyzing that thing. Where do you come from? Malawi. Oh, that's nice. Now they're looking at the work. Are these sounds from Malawi? Is this composition from Malawi? Is the language being utilized here from Malawi? There's a whole lot of things that they analyze.
Yes.
If you look at Angelique Kidjo, the music that she wins the Grammys on, there's no English there. She sings in her language, and she's promoting her culture and where she comes from. That's why she gets those things. So having that understanding for me, I have now zoned in and really honed in on the type of music I want to create and the music that I submit to the Grammys. So it's coming.
Okay.
It's coming.
Guys, the Grammy is coming.
It's
Mark
coming.
those words. If it doesn't,
It's coming.
Find him.
It's coming. 20 years in the music industry
Yeah.
has taught me quite a bit, and it's time to start applying. So
Yeah.
it'll come.
It's
It'll
coming.
Come.
It's coming home.
It's coming home.
Yeah.
It's coming home.
All right.
I'll keep going, keep trying, keep submitting, keep creating the content, and it will eventually happen.
All right.
Yeah.
Trending stars.
Now tell us about the big event happening on the 12th of April.
This event is my way of giving back. Tay Grin Level Up Youth Free Concert. This concert is geared for the youth to be a platform where they can showcase their talent. They can come to celebrate, be entertained, educated. I'm all about edutainment.
Yeah.
I'll educate you while I'm entertaining
Entertaining
you
you.
at the same time. So this particular platform has come from this tragedy that has happened to me
Happened, yeah.
with the fire. When the fire happened, I got an overwhelming level of support from a lot of young people across the country. Some sent messages to my inboxes, others called me, they found my numbers. Others would just send a text to say, we hope you're okay, I'm full, just checking on you, make sure you're fine. That touched me, to know that I have that level of support and love from the people. This free concert is for me to go say thank you. There are a lot of people who were not able to make it to
From the Ashes,
yeah,
yeah.
at BICC. And I thought, well, let me just take the same exact show and go present it to them for free as my way of saying thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So the way the program is lined up for that day, we have registered and we're still registering young talent. Whether you're a singer, whether you whatever talents you have, or you play an instrument and you want to showcase it, you want a platform to showcase it for free. Let's get that clear. For free. There's a tendency of young people trying to make a quick
Money,
buck
yeah.
of scenarios, right?
Yes.
And you find a situation where no game sure Tay Grin. No longer register. Mundipatse 5 pin. Mundipatse 10 pin. Aye. Register. We have the Zatu ambassadors who are in the different locations who are registering artists. You can send a message with your details on any of my social media platforms. And there's one, what we're doing is once all that content comes in and we know who the artists are or who the people are, we're curating a program which we're going to release prior to the event taking place on the 12th of April. Once we release, everyone will know who's performing. But the idea is to have from 10 a.m. all the way to 4 p.m. up and coming talent. I want them to be on the same stage as me, big stage, perfect sound, huge audience, then to perform. I want them to give their all. I want them to showcase who they are. But we also have beautiful media houses such as yourselves.
Exactly.
Who will be available. And I hope that you could do interviews for some of them.
Yeah.
Showcase them. It's our talent. And if we don't nurture talent, if we don't support young people to, this is the industry you want to come in, come right in. This is how it goes. If we don't do that, we will not breed good artists going forward, And we need to do that. So this is that platform. I want all the young people to come out. Thank you to Zodiak for supporting, for coming on as a partner to promote the event, but also to cover the event when it's happening on the 12th. And to all the other partners that have come on board. This event will not be possible without that. BLM is coming on. They're going to do free testing for the children. They're going to do counseling.
Yeah.
They're going to give away free condoms. So there's a lot of activities that we've got planned. We're going to give away hampers. There are going to be so many things happening on that day. It's really just a fun day for the youth. Come out in large numbers wherever you are. Masinta Ground, 12th of April. Nyao King is going to be there to play for you. have a good time. You know what I mean?
I mean, and also I think for the up and coming artists, it's their time to shine.
100%.
If not now, I don't know when.
100%.
Because, like you said, it's a big event and
Yes,
it's free.
yes.
And people are always saying, you
Yes.
know, good. I think in Fana, they have potential.
100%.
Yeah.
So if you're listening now, you're watching, and you know someone who is very talented, and please reach out to them. Let them know that there's this opportunity. Come out in large numbers. Let's celebrate. Let's have a good time. And it's going to definitely be a wonderful afternoon.
All right.
Yeah.
Guys, be there or be nowhere. Because Zodiac, we're going to be there.
100%.
Covering everything.
And there's nothing happening any longer this weekend. There's no football. There's nothing.
Yeah.
It's a quiet weekend except for
That's the Interground, people.
100%.
All right. So as we're finishing, what encouragement can you tell to up and coming artists, and maybe just tell us how you see the future of music in Malawi?
Well, first and foremost, let me just be thankful. Thankful to everyone again for their support, for your words of encouragement, for the ability to come and reach out to me when I was in time of need and went through some tough times. Thank you so much, and I deeply appreciate that. My advice to the young people and artists is that stay true to yourself. You know, listen to that voice inside you. That's where creativity starts. You know, every time you go into studio, for me personally, when I'm making music, I'm always tapping into my inner thoughts. Oh, that sounds like, or maybe. Build on that. Develop that confidence to be able to express yourself. Find yourself. Who are you? Show us who you are. You know, tell us your story through your eyes, through your experiences. We've all experienced different things, so don't shy away from that. And I look forward to seeing you on the 12th at Masinta, where we're going to have such a wonderful day,
Evening.
morning to afternoon. So it's a daytime show, and it's going to be full of security. We're working hand in hand with the police station and Kawali to make sure that they cover the area. So it's going to be safe. Parents, come out with your children. It's for everybody. Come out. Thank you once again, and I look forward to seeing you. And thank you guys for having me on the show too.
You're welcome. Yeah. And maybe before you go, when is the king finding a queen?
I thought you were going to ask me to marry you.
Did you come with the ring though?
You're the one asking. So this is what I wanted to say to the vice president when he asked me the same question. I said that I will get married only when I get to meet Skono.
Okay, guys, there is no future, there is no hope.
I meet Skono, I'm getting married.
Okay. Guys, so that Grin gets married. Okay. And this has been Trending Star, and we had Tay Grin, and I am Alina Fechunga. Let us meet again in the next episode of Trending Star.
Trending Stars.